But the Miami Dolphins have fired general manager Chris Grier. So after last night's loss to the Baltimore Ravens, Miami continues to struggle. We don't know about the future yet on head coach Mike McDaniel, but general manager Chris Grier has been relieved of his duties. Stephen A. Smith.
This BS. That's the first fire? Really? That's what we doing? With what we've seen, what we just finished talking about. You know, there's things that need to be modified, et cetera, but the personnel that they have on their squad, although we're not happy with it, we didn't walk into this season thinking they were going to be trash. We looked at their roster and we said they got some potential. We'll see what happens. It was about Tua. It was about Mike McDaniel. And the brother get fired first. All I know is this. I better hear Mike McDaniel's name today.
Oh, my God.
I better hear Mike McDaniel's name today.
But
it better not be just Chris Grier. And I'm not saying that he don't deserve it because of the way they look. At the end, you at the helm. I got it. I understand it. Listen, I'm all for brothers as head coaches, GMs. We know what battles I've been fighting for over 30 years. Okay, I got it. All right? But we go because when you don't get the job done, you don't get the damn job done. Period. I got it. Don't tell me it's just him. Don't tell me we gonna leave Mike McDaniels in place and we just gonna fire him and we gonna move forward. Damn that. I don't want to hear. I'm waiting for more news. I can't defend Chris Grier with some of the decisions that have been made personnel-wise. I got it. I understand it. It's unfortunate, but I got it. But I'll be damned if it gets to stop there. Oh, hell no.
The official terminology, just jumping in real quick, the Dolphins and Chris Grier have agreed to part ways. Okay. That is the official terminology, just to make sure.
He agreed. He agreed to be unemployed. I got it. Sure.
What if what I was saying was true?
Which is?
Mike McDaniels knew Tua really wasn't his guy. Mike McDaniel knew that Tua was not his guy. He has been stricken of the real potency of his offense and his methodology as a play caller. It's been lessened because of Tua's capabilities. I'm not sitting up here saying fire this person or fire that. It's unfortunate for anybody to lose a job. But for Chris Grier, he probably thought to himself, hey, this is our guy. Is it really? Okay, I can win with him, but if it comes to what we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks, now when we have staff meetings, somebody gonna always say it like this: your boy. Whoever your boy is, you have to win with it.
Is for the Miami Dolphins. However Stephen Ross chooses to let people go or fire people or agree to part ways, I believe this is just the beginning. And Chris Grier is someone I've had many conversations with about the methodology in building a team, about the way he tries to construct a roster. And on top of that, is actually just a genuinely good man. Mm-hmm. But this is a success business, right? This is a production-based business. And this team wasn't producing. And whether or not it's Mike McDaniel, whether or not it's Tua Tagovailoa, all of those things are your choices. To extend Mike McDaniel was your choice. To extend Tua Tagovailoa was your choice. And begin to search for the next general manager that can lead this team into the offseason is what Stephen Ross chose to do. And you better bet that that next general manager is going to make a different decision about the head coach. And after the head coach, you're going to make a decision about the quarterback. This is a process. And if you're Stephen Ross, your decision has to be, how much do I want to change about this team right away? Do I want to go into next week without a general manager and without a head coach? Or do I want to go into the next week with a head coach that can see if he can at least right the ship from a leadership position in our locker room so we can at least evaluate our players throughout the rest of the season?
Adam Schefter's all over this right now. Dolphins senior personnel executive Champ Kelly will lead the Dolphins' decisions leading up to and past Tuesday's NFL trade deadline. Per sources, Kelly is their new interim GM. They're going to go into Tuesday's trade deadline with Kelly making key decisions among key trade candidates Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, and Matthew Judon.
Here's the sad part. The man has been the general manager since 2016. Mm-hmm. They've been to the playoffs 3 times. They've lost all 3 playoff games. He's been with the organization since 2000. started out as a scout and worked his way up. Got to give that man respect for that. But here we are, 25 years later, from him starting out as a scout at the Miami Dolphins. And this team is nosediving, and he the first to go. It just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. That's all I'm trying to say. It just does. I don't like it. Again, this is a success-oriented business. You can't fault the decision on the part of Stephen Ross, okay? If you Stephen Ross and you insisted that they draft Tua instead of Justin Herbert, guess what? You need to get from that microphone and own some culpability as well. Yeah. All right? But I just find it hard to stomach that watching these dudes, that we sit up here and we look at Mike McDaniel still having the job as the head coach. I just find it hard to stomach.
Breaking news out of the NFL, the Miami Dolphins and general manager Chris Grier have agreed to part ways, according to our own Adam Schefter. More on
it just came across our desk while we were talking. The Dolphins, after playing last night, are firing Chris Grier as their general manager. That report coming out from our lead NFL insider, Jonathan Jones. We saw Miami play just last night against the Ravens, a game at home in Miami Gardens. I saw fans with the brown paper bags over their faces and not happy at all with the way things are going in South Florida. What's your reaction first, just hearing that right now?
Time to go. This is a team clearly that has failed to maximize what the plan was. Chris Grier had a plan and he didn't, fulfill it. And, you look at the way that the on-field product is performing right now. Tua has not lived up to the hype. Obviously, Mike McDaniel's struggling right now. They have so many holes on the offensive line that definitely falls on Chris Grier. Spending money, I think, inappropriately in certain spots. I thought they had an opportunity to still maximize the trade value for Tyreek Hill when you knew this team was not going to be a playoff contender. They failed to do that also. And so they needed to hit the reset button. You see what's happening on the field. They were competitive in the first half against Baltimore, and then things just fell apart because that's what happens to bad teams. So, the momentum that they start to build, they take 2 steps back on every following week. And so it was time for Chris Grier to go, and now unfortunately it's time for Mike McDaniel to go as well.
That is exactly what I was about to ask you next. Of what do you think happens to Mike McDaniel moving forward? Because we have so many, as you know, Dolphins fans here in this building, and seeing their frustration, they wanted Grier and McDaniel done. So you think now for sure it's kind of written in stone that McDaniel will be out?
Yeah, it has to happen. I think there was some thought maybe get them through the game in Madrid, and then you have the bye week after that, and that's when you make the change, probably to their defense coordinator Weaver. That unit has looked a little bit better, did a great job against Atlanta last week, and held tough despite the circumstances against certainly the run against Derrick Henry last night early in the game, and the turnovers led to some Lamar Jackson touchdowns in the first half there. But at this point, this team is lost. You start the coaching search now, you start the GM search now, you get ahead of it, and especially when you see all these college teams that need head coaches, you and I are in the same boat as Florida guys. Everybody's gonna be looking at Lane Kiffin now, and so the Dolphins, I'm sure, are gonna be in that mix as well for a guy that's had head coaching experience in the NFL. So you try to get ahead of that, see what you can get, the discovery phase of who's the top candidates, and see if you can get, those discussions going at this point. But Chris Grier had to go. Mike McDaniel, unfortunately, is gonna be next, and this team just really needs to hit the reset button, try to acquire as many draft picks as you can before Tuesday's NFL trade deadline. They have guys like Bradley Chubb and, some defensive linemen that could